Okay. Now, where did I stop? I stop on the second one. On the Acinteyya. Hold on. As I said, some of the topics, some of the things that we should not think too much about it, because as the Buddha says, you think too much about it, one will get frustration or the mind goes crazy or goes mad. Even that, sometimes it becomes wrong view, wrong thinking, wrong view. So we have to be careful some of the things, especially for those who love to think. All right. Now let us go back to the notes that I okay. 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 Now this one. All right. Let me be bigger. Okay. Here there are the 4 domains that we should not think too much about it, because this will make us give the madness of frustration. First is the domain of the Buddhas. The second one is one in jhanas, and also nibbana, and also the psychic powers and so on. The third one is this karma vipaka, the result of karma. The result of karma is also another inconceivable matter. But then we may think that, didn't the Buddha taught us so much about karma? And yet, some of the things that it is not conceivable. Yes, of course. The Buddha taught many things about the karma. But what the Buddha taught or Buddha teaches is that they teach the principles of karma. They talk about different principles of karma and how the karma and vipaka are related, and how they springs the resultant of due to a karma. It's how they result in present life, future life, and so on. Yes, he touched about the principle of it, but he doesn't go into too much more deeper than that. Even in Abhidhamma, they go a little bit more, but again, it leaves a lot of areas that we don't have to go in and think about it. Now, even the understanding of karma also is one area, is to understand the nature of vipassana also, especially the nature of cause and effect. Intentions, we know about intentions, we know about formations and so on, that you can see that in the mind. So we can understand the nature of karma even when we are doing vipassana, but not in the sense of like, because in the vipassana it's more like in immediate result. You see it immediately. You note your intention, then you note the nature of your leg is walking. You note the rising and falling is taking place, or the in-breath, out-breath is taking place. The intention and the resultant of it. So this karma, it's in other areas, in a very deeper, we should not go and look into it too much. Now, let's look into a number of results, a number of what it meant by these things. Okay, this one is Monday, we talk about that, the omnisciency of the Buddha, 10 powers and the ways of the Buddha, and so on. This one is a jhana, yes. They include nibbana, jhana, nibbana. Okay, this one we talk about them quite a lot. Not too much, I think. But anyway, now the result of karma is this. The principle of this karma is to understand that the resultant of karma is due to many causes, many effects, not just one cause and one effect. It's due to many causes, many effect. So this is the principle of karma. And then, for example, another principle is that the Buddha was taught also that when this karma will ripen, whether ripen in this life, ripen the next life, ripen in the subsequent future lives, and will not ripen for your certain actions that you have done. All right, okay? But the thing is that how? You see, you kill a cockroach right now, let's say. When do you think that thing is going to ripen? You do not know. You actually do not know. We're going to be ripened in this life, next life, subsequent future lives, and so on. You know, even for those who knows about the Abhidhamma. In fact, in the Abhidhamma, it mentioned that, like in the jhana process, like your sense consciousness process, your mental process, there's a number of consciousness that's going to run through when there's an object coming in, and there's called jhana process. And that jhana process, they tell you, okay, which jhana will when it arises, then you going to have in this life. Which one will be in the subsequent life, and which one will be in the next life, and which one will not ripen at all. They somewhat tells you in the Abhidhamma also. But the thing is that how exactly that this thing will correlate to which consciousness? How? So you can really never know. So you think about it. You can never know. You can never know. So, but we understand that an action that we've done, it will result either in this life, next life, subsequent life, future lives, or will not ripen at all. For more than that, we cannot really know. Okay. Now, before we look at the next one, we will look into a bit of the chart that I've made. Simple understand. This is a simple thing. This is a very simple thing. But when it comes to a more complex, you've got too many arrows already. Then you defeat the purpose. Okay. Now, so you have this life. This life is somewhere here. Okay. You have last life. That means this is just your last life, and there are other past lives from other past lives from a way very, very far behind. So here, let's say you have a resultant in this life. Let's say you are sick right now. Your sickness is happening right now in this life. And this life is that your main causes is due to this action in the other past lives, perhaps. It can be a last life, but I chose this one to be other past lives. Now, in the other past life, it gives the result so that you are sick right now. Okay? So this one is quite easier to understand. But in the karma process, more than that, you see all these red lines here, red arrow here. These red arrow here are also like supportive conditioning, supportive karma for it. You get sick, but other supportive karma, it makes you poor again. That your business disappear and everything, and then gone. So there are many other supportive karma in this sense. It's going to come in, it's going to ripen in order to support that main resultant. You're going to support, then you're going to keep that resultant to keep giving you suffering, to give you that disease, or to give you whatever suffering that you're going to go through, and other past lives, other past life, you do not know when, and also perhaps also from your last past life, and also it can be from this life also, is still also supporting for the resultant to manifest itself, to support that condition that you are sick and so on. So this one, although I put there 3 arrows only, the red ones, but actually there are multiple arrows. So if I'm going to put it too many, the chart is going to be very complicated. Okay, it's going to be complicated. Yeah. So this is a simple example. This is a simple example. But when it comes into more complicated example, is that this blue one, the bigger one, the big one, you create a karma here in a past life and say this is a very strong karma. Say it's a killing karma. You do an action of killings. And therefore, it's not going to give you one result. No. This one is going to have countless arrows into the futures. It's even more scarier. If I put the too many arrows again, as I said, it's going to be very complicated. But it is just because of one action, or you think that you do one action. How come there's so many resultant? So many resultant. And because in the mind processes much more than just one action that what we see physically, But the mind, when the mind processes the mental formation that processes it, it creates so many countless intentions just for you to do that killing. It's not just one intention. So it's countless intention. The mind that keep on thinking about it already, that thinking is already countless intention is already making. If you do the physical action and you kill the thing, and also again here is a countless action is going through. And not only that, if you speak it out verbally, then again is countless action that's going through. So even one intention already give rise to multiple effects. Then you got countless intentions. That one. You cannot think about it anymore. It's become too complicated for us, for a human mind to able to perceive those things anymore. So we don't have to go into that too much. Yeah? You can actually notice those things like when you are actually meditating, especially when you come into the second insight knowledge, when the knowledge of begin to understanding the conditionality. Actually, what you see is cause and effect. You see the nature of intention is happening. Just that you want to walk. You're not just only noting one intention, you're noting a multiple of intentions. When the mind becomes more clearer, you can notice a multiple of intention, then only when the walking starts. And then when the walking starts, there's a multiple of movements, tiny movements, multiple of bodily processes, bodily consciousness are going through together with that physical movement. Now, with the insight, you could able to notice all these things. Then with that, although we see these things, but we can, in a way, we can extrapolate it out, due to what we see, then we perhaps that the karma also, when it's processed to produce the karma, it goes somewhere in the same thing like that. So it's not just one intention that you do a killing. There's infinite of intentions just to do that thing. So your result will be the resultant is it's incalculable in that sense. Sometimes I heard some auntie, some people, not auntie, some people, they say, wow, Bante, this life, what I call, I'm so suffering. Maybe I met him, my husband, a terrible husband. Never mind, Bante, this life, I be patient, patient. Next life, I 还你借个了I repay back everything. So next life, I don't come back and meet him again. Oh, you think you can finish? You can make you think that your karma is like your account book now. That you can just nullify, cancel. Okay, everything finish. Sometimes people think in that way, and then that is not a right thinking. Because no matter how, you think that sometimes you say, oh, just bear up this burden, oh, just bear up this disease, oh, bear up this, don't get angry about it, But we do not know when the karma is going to finish, honestly. Really, sometimes I think about it now, it doesn't really finish as long as you are in samsara. Only when you're out of samsara, then only the karma doesn't touch you. So because from the past life, from the other past life, from incalculable past life, it can still haunt you. Just like sometimes we read in the chronicles of the Buddha, sometimes the Bodhisattva, in his past, this is the Gautama Buddha. In the past, when he was a Bodhisattva, he was quite arrogant in certain sense, in certain ways. Arrogant in the sense that at one time he in the altar he was walking on with his sandals and so on, with his arrogant attitude and so on. One of his past life when he met another Buddha too. And because of that incident, when he became a Buddha, then the Buddha also have like backaches and here and there. Because that the Buddha says, according to the chronicles of the Buddha, it says that because of his past life, he did that action. And right until the Buddha, he comes and the karma come and look for them, come and look for him. So you cannot run away. You cannot run away from all this karma. So this is just a simple thing. Simple understanding of the principle. But as I said, if you go into more deeper into it, you cannot really understand what is going on. Okay, this is one thing. Then the next one also, you cannot think about how the strength of a resultant is going to take place. Take for example, Majjhima Nikaya 135. This Chula Kama Vibhanga Sutta, we did discuss upon it when there was one last week or the week before the Friday. The Friday when we have a Q&A, I took it out and I explained some of the things. But anyway, since we are talking about the karma, this one is a very good for us to understand. Okay, let us go into the sharing of screen into this one. All right. Now, Chula Kama Vibhanga Sutta. All right. The question starts here from a Brahmin student named Suba. Master Gautama, what is the cause and condition why human beings are seen to be inferior and superior, for short-lived and long-lived, sickly and healthy, ugly and beautiful, uninfluential and influential, poor and wealthy, low-born and high-born, stupid and wise? What is the cause and the condition? Okay, all right. Now, it says, beings are owners of their action, heirs of action, originate from the action, they are bound to their action, have their action as their refuge. It is action. The word action here, you have to read it as karma. Pali word is karma. It is action that distinguishes beings as inferior as superior. Okay, you do not understand. Okay, now let the Buddha explain this. Here, student, some man or woman kills living beings and is murderous, bloody-handed, giving blows and violence, merciless to beings. Because of performing and undertaking such action on the dissolution of the body after death, he reappears in the state of deprivation and in unhappy destination, in perdition, even in hell. But if on the dissolution of the body after death, he does not reappear in the state of deprivation, in an unhappy destination, perdition, but instead come back to the human state, then whenever he is reborn, he is short-lived. This is the way, student, that leads to short life, namely one kills living being and is murderous, bloody-handed, and so on. Okay, now you killing a living being. The Buddha says here it can go two ways. Here, the future is that you're going to reborn. I suspect that this one is you're going to reborn as in hell or even as animal, and the state of deprivation means you're reborn as a Peta world, is it going to hell world, or you reborn as a animal world, so you're reborn in this sense. That means perhaps in the next life itself. But then when you look at the second one, the second one, but if on delusion, if he doesn't reborn that one, but he come back as a human being again more. Now how come a killing, the killing right now is that when it's going to give rise to the result is going to give rise to the next rebirth in the next life, or you still can come back as a human being, but it may take the action later on, they give you sickness and so on. Now here, you come back as a human being because that the person has done something wholesome. Something wholesome, if it's a strong, wholesome action, is more powerful than this killing thing, then it help them to reborn in the happy destination, such as a human being. He may reappear in the Deva world too, so we reappear in a human being or in the Deva world, but then the life is short. The life is short. But is that all the karma is going to give you? The karma is even that you think your short life, and then okay, it nullifies that killing already of the past life. No, it doesn't do like that, because even it give you short life in the subsequent life and in the next life, but in subsequent life, because of that action, is going to bring you into hell, into perdition, into this one again. So the karma doesn't finish there. But again, you see here, even if you do a killing, but how does it give rise to the result in this way or in that way? So this is beyond our understanding. It belongs to the Buddha. It belongs to the Buddha. And also in a certain degree, for those who have some psychic, especially the divine eye, or the understanding of how beings appear and reappear. Those are some areas you can actually able to understand those things. But this one, you cannot really fully understand. That's why, as I said, you can only know its principle of karma. So too, like for example, number 6 again, another one. Number 6, no, this number 6 is you abandon killing. That means you give up on those killing. You do not want to take up that killing rod or weapons to kill and so on. You have compassionate to all living beings. Then again, it's the same way also. Reappear in the heavenly world. But if it does not appear in the heavenly world, he'll reappear in human life, then you're going to have a long life. Then again here, that wholesome state of mind, how does it going to give result? Whether this one or that one. And not only this, it's going to give you multiple times infinite numbers of lives, not only just 1 or 2 lives. So again here, so the killing one is quite strong. But here, number 7, again here, you are just injuring beings. You're not killing them, but you're injuring them, injuring beings. And yet, the Buddha says, you can reappear in the state of deprivation. But if you come back in a human state, you'll always be sickly. And again here, Again here, you see how the resultant of the karma, we really do not know how exactly the resultant of karma will give rise to anything. Even right now, for example, that you are healthy, you are well, for example, you think you have not injured any living beings before in your past, man? Huh? You think you're not. So if you have done something, then you are reborn back as a human state. Then wherever he is reborn, he is sickly. So we just do not know when our karma is going to come in. It's going to kick us, and then it's going to reappear and make us all these type of things. We are in samsara. In samsara, there are always this type of danger. So you can see here, we do not know how the karma will, when it will give rise, when it will disappear, and so on. In other like breaking of the third precepts, it is said that when you break of the third precepts, then you're going to the resultant is going to be reborn in the hell and so on for many lives, or countless lives. And then after reborn in the hell for countless life, then you're reborn in the animal planes for a countless life also. Then when you're able to reborn back as a human being, and then reborn back as what we call a hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite, like neither male nor neither female. They have both genes and both genitals together. Then after that, they said that according to the commentary or the text, I forgot. Then after that, after the hermaphrodite period, then after that, reborn as a woman. Then before you're reborn as a man. Sorry to say that. But it mentioned in the text. Somewhere I tried to find it, but I forgot where is it actually. This is not something. This is not that we are trying to be sexist or something like that. It's mentioned in the books. Anyway, whether you want to believe it or not, that's another thing. But karma has a way of it, how it goes. Okay. Now there's another one also I want to share with you. This is Majjhima Nikaya 142. Yeah, Tikka. Okay, this is the one. This is the one. This is also quite an interesting sutta. Dakina Vibhanga Sutta. Okay. Now, thus have I heard, on one occasion the Buddhas were living in the Sakyan country. Okay, oh no. This one is very long. This is a very long sutta actually. It's quite a long sutta. No, I'm not going to read it. I forgot. What I'm going to try to show you is this. I'm going to show you is something here. Okay, you see number 5 here? Hold on, make it big. Make it bigger a little bit. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm trying to move this thing. Okay, let me make it slightly bigger font. Okay. And move this thing up. Okay. All right. Okay. You see, there are 14 kinds of personal offerings, Ananda. One gives a gift to the Tathagata, fully accomplished and enlightened. First kind of offering to a Pacceka Buddha. Second, to an Arahant disciple. Third, to entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of Arahantship. This is the fourth. That means Pala, Magga, and Pala. And the Magga and Pala considered as two consciousness, two different beings, two different offerings. So too with for non-returner, there's Magga and Pala also, another two. And then again here on the top, non-returner. Then once returner, Sakadagami, then you have again Magga and Pala again. Then stream enterer, Magga and Pala again. Okay? Then This is the 10th offering. One gives to one gives to one outside of the dispensation who is free from the sensual lust for sensual pleasures. That means that there are those people who are not in the Buddha's dispensation. They are not in the Buddha's sasana. They don't believe in the teachings of the Buddha, but they have a very high level of mental development. And because of that mental development, they are free from the sensual pleasures for a period of time. Then they are also virtuous people in the sense that they are very highly trained people. Also, it's a form of giving also. Virtuous ordinary person, that means you keep your precepts or you keep your morality, or then one gives to immoral ordinary person. Another one, give to an animal. This is also another kind of offering. Well, it doesn't say any offering to Peta, Gokui and all that. Anyway. So, herein Ananda, number six. Herein Ananda, by giving a gift to an animal, the offering may be expected to repay 100-fold. By giving a gift to an immoral ordinary person, the offering may be expected to repay 1,000-fold. By giving to a virtuous ordinary person, the offering may be expected 100,000-fold. A giving gift to one that outside the dispensation who is free from sensual lust may be expected to repay 100,000 times 100,000-fold. Then by giving the giver who has entered upon the way realization of the fruit of string M3, offering may be expected to repay incalculably, immeasurably. What then should said about giving the gift to stream enterer, the one who is once returner, who is a Magga and Pala, once returner all the way to Arahant, all the way to a Pachika Buddha, all the way to Tathagata. Yeah. As I said, how are you going to know? No, it is mentioned like that. Okay, it is mentioned like that. Let's talk about the Sotapanna and also or the stream enterer. Perhaps they still exist in this time. Perhaps very few, but they still may exist in this time. Of course, you don't have a Pachika Buddha, you don't have a Buddha. Now the thing is that let's say you give a gift to the person. The person may be ordinary person, not a monk, but an ordinary person, but is highly mentally developed until attain Sotapanna. But you do not know. You do not know, but you give a gift to him. Then the Buddha says that when the gift is given to a Sotapanna, the resultant is incalculable. All right? How does the karma knows that the other person is a Sotapanna when you yourself don't even know that he's a Sotapanna? Now you see what I mean? You don't even know that the person is a Sotapanna, but how does the karma knows that that person is a Sotapanna? Or a Sakadagami, or a this and that. So happen, the karma doesn't even know. How? You don't even know in the first place. You don't even know in the first place. You just give a gift to that person. In the sense that karma doesn't care that whether you know or don't know. Just like when you kill something, whether you know about karma or you don't know about karma, you still get the same result in that sense. So when you give to an enlightened one, also you do not know, but you give, how does the karma going to know? So that, the resultant of the karma, that too is beyond our comprehension. Beyond our comprehension. It's so near and yet we don't really know. In reality, we don't really know. Okay? So this is something like that. One of the thing. So it's interesting, this one, This is interesting to understand. So then they give you what kinds of offering, what kinds of giving to Sangha, giving to the Sangha headed by the Buddha. This is the giving to Sangha, both Bhikkhu and Bhikkhunis with the Buddha is there, and so on. And so on. There are different kinds of offering to the Sangha, to the Sangha. Even in future times, Ananda, there will be members of a clan who are yellow-necks, immoral, of evil character. People who gives to those immoral person for the sake of Sangha. Even then I say, an offering made to the Sangha is incalculable, immeasurable. Because right now, even the person is immoral in character or is a fake monk, let's say it's a fake monk, but when you give it, thinking that he is a Sangha member, and then just because you give it and the offering made is therefore the resultant is incalculable, immeasurable. So here is quite interesting, this chapter on offerings. Okay, so maybe one of these days we can talk about it. So let us go back to this one. Go back to this one. 9:44 already. All right. Now talk about this just now, the Dakini Vibhanga Sutta. At one time I was giving this talk to a group of people. A group of people. I go through this sutta because there's two talks. Two talks cover on this sutta. Well and good. When I totally forgot about it, then the next year again, the same group of people, I gave the same talk again. Same talk again, discussing the same thing. Then they were thinking that, hey, this Bante got no other topic to give already, is it? Giving the same talk again. Anyway, that one I've completely forgotten about it anyway. Anyway. But it was interesting, that type of this one. Okay, anyway. Now the next one, speculation about the world. Speculation about the world. Speculation about the world. Here is that when you overthinking about the world, then again here will reap madness or frustration or a lot of wrong views actually. Now, brooding over the world or who or what created animals and planet. Of course, right now, there are studies when we look into astronomy, we look into the stars, we look into the world and so on, Then, of course, these are some of the modern things that because we have more sophisticated devices, we can see things more clearly. But those days, during the Buddha's time, people cannot, when they look at the stars, everything is just twinkling in the sky only. But nowadays, with a telescope, a powerful telescope, with that one dot, we can actually see that it's a galaxy. It may not be just a star. That means there are so many stars inside there. But when we see it with our normal eyes, we only see one thing. Then we know that the world is round, and because physically we have seen it, in that sense. So because of that, it is helpful for us in the modern world. It's helpful for us in the modern world, in the sense that we understand the world is round. Then let's say you want to fly. You want to fly to US right now. From Malaysia, you want to fly to US. You want to take the Atlantic way, or you want to fly from here to India to where? To Europe to cross over Atlantic, then reach to US. Or you want to fly from here to cross over to Japan or Taiwan, and then you cross over the Pacific, then you reach the US. The world is round. We know these type of things because we understand this type. And it's helpful for us in our modern world. You understand about GPS and all that thing. helpful for us. It's helpful for us in the modern world, but we don't have to think about it too much. There are speculation about how this universe arise through the Big Bang and all that. Then you can understand that a little bit. It's perfectly fine. It's not a problem. So that one is this one. But then there are people who think about it too much. And they want to speculate it. Who created the world? What created the world? The world is 5,000 years old, and then all these kind of things, And then there are people overthinking, think until the earth is all flat like a pancake, like that flat, flat earth, flat earth society. People think about all these kind of things, overthinking until their mind becomes over. They disregard about facts and certain understanding, worldly understanding, which is correct, helpful, but they don't want. So some of these things, you got to be careful. Don't think about it too much, because it's not conducive for your enlightenment, not conducive for your further development. Like beginning of samsara, also the same thing, Especially we understand how this samsara, death, birth, all the defilements that comes together with it, and all the wholesome state of mind comes together with it. All these things. How is the beginning like? The Buddha, all these stuff, things, it doesn't want to reply to those people who ask him. Like there are monks in the suttas, quite a number of, a few that I've read before, that some monks disrobe. Disrobe because of what? Because the Buddha did not mention of the beginning of samsara to the monk. Then the Buddha says, when you come into the monkhood, did I say that I'm going to explain this topic to all of you? No, I didn't say that. This is their thing also. And also the next one, number 3, also the same thing. Reflections about the world. And some, again, there are some monks also thinking about these reflections about the world. And because the Buddha did not answer those things, they don't want to become monk anymore. Or they go and smear the Buddha's name because of them. Here, reflections about the world. It's quite a very, these are what we call they call it a stock phrases, It doesn't happen in just one sutta, but it happened in the multiple of suttas, and there's always this 10. I guess, and also the scholars are thinking that when they talk about this 10, it can be a very popular subject during the Buddha's time. It's a very popular subject, and or they question it around the topic about those things. So when they recite these suttas, then they recite it in the stock phrases. Like those people keep on asking about this type of topics and so on. So it become like a stock phrases that you can see this in different suttas also. Always this 10. Let us go on this Sutta Nipat Samyutta 56. Let me stop this one as we go through that one. Okay. Now go to my library. All right. Now, this one is quite an interesting sutta. Okay. Reflection about the world. This one, I mean, it's good, interesting to read. It's just an interesting topic to read, to know, but I'm not going to go through that because it's quite long before this one. What I'm interested is the paragraph here, but, hold on, this paragraph here. But it's the above paragraph, nevertheless, bhikkhus, what the man saw was actually real, not unreal. Once in the past, the Devas and the Asuras were arrayed for battle. In that battle, the Devas won and the Asuras were defeated. In their defeat, the Asuras were frightened and entered the Asura city through the lotus stalk to the bewilderment of the Devas. So you end up in a heavenly world, you still got battle and still got war going on. So this one is something like that. So here what the Buddha wants here is this one, the next one. Therefore, bhikkhus, do not reflect about the world, thinking the world is eternal, the world is not eternal, the world is finite, the world is infinite, the world and the body are the same, the soul and the body are the same, the soul is one thing, the body is another, the Tathagata exists after death, the Tathagata does not exist after death, the Tathagata both exist and does not exist after death, the Tathagata neither exists nor exists after death. For what reason? Because this reflection is unbeneficial, irrelevant to the fundamentals of the holy life, does not lead to revulsion, to dispassion, to cessation, to peace, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to nibbana. Then what you should reflect? When you reflect, bhikkhus, you should reflect. This is suffering. This is dukkha. You should reflect. This is the origin of suffering. You should reflect. This is the cessation of suffering. You should reflect. This is the way leading to the cessation of suffering. For what reason? Because this reflection, beneficial, relevant, fundamentals to the holy life, leads you to revulsion, to dispassion, to cessation, to peace, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to nibbana. So you see that this type of this one, you should not reflect on it too much. Now let us go back to this one. I keep it simple. Now here the world is eternal, the world is not eternal, and then here when you talk about eternalism and this annihilationism, it's all connected to the physical thing. Finite, infinite, also the same thing. Permanent and they are not permanent. And then again, you get the body and soul and so on. But what I'm interested also is this number 7, 8, 9, and 10. Number 7 especially. This is where when we begin to overthink whether the Buddha exists after death or not. Then it turns into that, and you think that the Buddha exists after death, then the Buddha exists in somewhere in the land is very pure. Then they exist there. Once they exist there, that is what the Buddha says. You don't go and think about those things because it is beyond logic, beyond logical reasoning, beyond you try to hammer it out through your logical understanding. It is impossible. That's why when you think about this too much, then all these wrong views will start to become attached to all your so-called religious view. Then the world is eternal or not eternal. You think about whether the God is eternal, whether this soul is the same, whether the soul is internal, whether the soul is external, whether the body is one thing, so this is a very complicated thing. So if you think about it too much, you can go into a lot of wrong views when you speculate about those things. So this is where all these wrong views are like the Buddha and the Arahants, when they die, they reborn in a certain land of existence and so on. They are still there and so on. This is that usually as a Theravada, we don't go into those things too much. But this one taken up by other schools of thought. And then that, when they talk about the Buddha as still in existence, that means the permanent view, the permanent view is still very much lodged into their heart. So this is on the Acinteyya. So here, don't try to think about this karma too much, speculation about the world too much. Don't try to think about this domain of the jhana too much. And then some people, this domain of the jhana, they practice this meditation or whatever meditation that they are doing, and they love these magical powers, all this divine ear penetration in the mind of others, remember the former existence and so on. And remembering the former existence, that means also you remember the what do you call that? The karma and so on, how the karma arises and so on. Some of it, not all of it, but you can notice some of it. So here people practice for these type of things, and when they do these type of things that they don't get it, they get very frustrated and so on. So don't think about it this too much. And also the domain of the Buddhas also. Too much of what the Buddha can do and cannot do also. Again, here, this is not a very good for us to think. But I got to remind you, all of you, how far should you think and how far is too much? When you talk about karma, for example, you talk about karma. If you just because you don't understand, you say, Abante, I think that one, Acinteyya already. Just because you don't understand, other people understand it. Even in certain principles, you cannot understand it. You don't go and rub everything as Acinteyya, because you try to understand a number of things. But of course, there are many things that a lot of us cannot able to understand. But doesn't mean that you should not try to understand them a little bit more. It is good to understand a little bit more, but then don't attach to what you think, to what you believe, Because a lot of things, what we think and what we believe, we are only speculating about, even with karma also. We can understand some degree, but we cannot fully be sure. We cannot fully be sure. So we must always keep an open mind. We can touch upon those subjects. How is it like and so on, a little bit more. Even we want to go into Abhidhamma, that type of things, it's perfectly all right. But don't overthink about it. Don't just take it up whole day, keep on thinking and thinking and thinking about it. It will give you a lot of frustration. So you must know your limit, how much you can go. That would be good. So I think that's it.